New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Come and keep me on your mind, 'cause I'll be on the way. Yeah. You know I'll be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I'll be on the way. Yeah. Man, we coming for them bags. If they said I couldn't have, get the chain. I got a vision for the things you ain't believe. And here's the motto, hard work is over everything. It's that comeback. I'm calling plays, hit the pass, then the run back. Yeah, I'm far ahead and gotta run last. But we ain't letting up, we never done that. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. 'Cause I'll be on the way. Yeah. You know I'll be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I'll be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah, on the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
Good morning, fans. That's right. Good morning. This is Top of the Tailgate. I am your host, Ali the Persian. And we're back. That's right. We're back. Top of the Tailgate is back. Full swing of things. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. It's been a hot minute. I mean, a hot minute. 2 weeks to be exact, I think. Yeah, if you didn't hear, me and my whole family got the crud. I can't even say it legally on YouTube without being dinged. We got the crud. It was so bad, bro. I can't even tell you. I went 3.5 years, 2.5 years, whatever it is, without getting it and being careful and everything and whatnot. And we got the crud. And it was not fun. I will say that. I don't wish it upon anybody. I'm still kind of recovering. I'm still like tired. I just got my taste buds back. You know, my wife still has all this congestion and whatnot. It's not fun at all. And if you've had it, I apologize. I feel your pain. If you haven't had the crud, make sure you're washing your hands and doing whatever else they may recommend that just to get on the better side of things. Because mine was bad. I can only imagine if I didn't take certain precautions, how it could be even worse. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But thank you for joining us. We're back on the swing of things. I already got my co-host in the back. But like you saw on the banner, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Tell a friend, tell your kids, tell your wife. Right? TFTG is in full swing. We got a lot of different shows this week. We got El Capitan on the TFTG show. You got myself in color, Top of the Tailgate. Late Night Exhale is back, baby. This Sunday. I'm sorry, I take that back. This Saturday, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Be there or be square. It's a brand new season of Late Night Exhale on the eve of training camp. I cannot wait. I know Color can't wait. I got something special that I've put together for that episode. I cannot wait to play it for you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. KP has been, on hiatus. He's on vacation a little with family and whatnot. Once he gets back, we'll get him into the work of things, and we can start getting him on our shows on a regular. And then we got Lewis and Shake Money with the Drive Time, the Smoke Lounge, the Saturday night wrestling specials. Got Shake Money in the Blender on Larry K's channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you want to be notified when Shake Money and Lewis are going. So shout out to those gentlemen. We also, if you really like the content and you want to help out the channel, we accept Cash App and Venmo, the Finn's Tailgate. Make sure you, if you want to donate. We also accept super chats, super stickers. We appreciate it. Don't have to, but, we definitely appreciate it. And let's all not forget, you also can become a member. You get certain emojis, extra notification for certain content. You get, some specific content that's going to be coming out specifically to members. So definitely look at becoming a member. It's the easiest and most inexpensive way to help out the channel. I want to say it's like $2 or $3 depending on what level you are. There's Amigos, Familia, and MVP. There might be another one soon that I got to talk to El Cap about, but we'll talk about it soon. But there's some really cool emojis and stuff you get becoming a member. Definitely shout out to everybody that's become a member so far. That being said, let's keep it going here. Shout out to our affiliates. Look in the description. There's some really cool affiliates. We already talked about Fanatics. Officially licensed everything, according to that great voice in the promo. Fanatics, if you use the link below, right, you get all the same deals, all the same stuff, all the same specials and everything that you do using the regular Fanatics website. However, if you use our link, it kind of puts us, gives us some good standing with Fanatics, pat on the back. It basically drops our name that we sent you. We'd really appreciate if you use the link below. Helps out the channel, like I said. Fanatics got a lot of good stuff, man. They always got deals for expedited shipping. Even their clearance section, if you look at their, stuff that's on sale, it's like a really good selection of stuff. And it's not just like Miami Dolphins stuff. They have every sport, every team. They've got officially licensed, signed memorabilia. They got some really cool stuff at Fanatics. Definitely check them out. That being said, shout out to Backroom Collections. Also, if you're looking for some awesome canvas artwork that you can literally hang anywhere, let it be your place of business, your office, your mama's house, your basement, your patio, your bathroom, does not matter. You can even, I know someone that purchased something and actually hung it in their personal shed that they have. They have a workshop shed. They even hung it there. Check out Backroom Collections. They have some really cool Miami Dolphins artwork. They do custom stuff, not just for Miami. They also have accessories for those helmets that everybody likes to get signed, little mini ones. They got some cool stuff. Use code TFTG at checkout. Save 10% off your purchase at checkout. So definitely check out Backroom Collections. While you're checking out Backroom Collections, you may need the energy for all the different content that the TFTG brings. And with that, you might want to try Doobie Energy Drink. W Energy Drink, claims that they don't provide shaking or jittering that you get with other, energy supplements or drinks. And Shake Money, who's done multiple different reviews and taste tests and recorded it, live as well as pre-recorded videos, claims that he doesn't get the shaking or jittering either. They also claim that they provide a lot more minerals and vitamins in their energy supplements that are all natural, that actually help the brain functionality in a more positive manner. You don't got any of that artificial sugars that's harmful for the body. They have an all natural caffeine source that they use in their energy supplements. They got some really cool flavors. Again, you can use code TFTG to check out to save 10% off your order. Check out Doobie Energy Drink. We really appreciate them. And another shout out to all of our affiliates. You can look at the links below and whatnot. Speaking of links below, check out TFTGnetwork.com, right? Your one-stop shop for TFTG everything, right? There you can find feeds directly to our Twitter. We're gonna have articles and blogs and stuff that we're gonna post. I already have a couple from a while ago that I've been working on. That's already posted. You can get, there's a newsletter that you can sign up for that's free, that gives you notification of certain upcoming content, stuff that we have going on around the Fins Tailgate. And in addition to that, check out our merch store there. They got some really awesome stuff. It's your one-stop shop for TFTG everything, like it says. They got tons of stuff, t-shirts, hats, purses for the ladies, stuff for the kids, kitchenware, deck of cards. They got so much stuff. And if you look at the stuff that they have there, it's no generic t-shirts or hats and stuff. Everything that you see there has been inspired by you, the fans, the people in the chat, right? The members. You, the audience, are who inspired 98% of the stuff that you see on the merch store. And if you want to have part of that memorabilia for yourself and be part of something special, check out the merch store. Again, if you sign up for the newsletter, you get 10% off your order. We'd really appreciate it. Check out the stuff there. Just go check out tftgnetwork.com. It's pretty awesome stuff. Not gonna lie. What else we got in here? I know I got my person in the back. I'm just giving him a few minutes to get a coffee. Let's see who we got in the chat room. Shout out to everybody. We have 2IQ, who's Michael K. Yes, you have the IQ of number 2. I agree with you. Q's in here. Q, man, I know you're like, 8 hours, 12 hours behind us. So shout out to you for even just showing up in the chat. I appreciate that. He says, fins up and good night. Damn. Yep, I understand. Trucker Sean in here. What's up, Trucker Sean? How you been, man? Nice seeing you. Let's see if we got anybody else in here. Diggs, by the way, 7. What's up? DF, how's it going? Training camp around the corner. And that's about it. We got about 7 people watching right now. That's fine. This is for the early bird. This is for the people that are, on the road. Our truck drivers, as Trucker Sean, for example, or people that are on the road, going into work 5 a.m., 6 a.m. This is the show for them, right? Something to listen to on your way before you have to hit the grind of everyday life called work. So appreciate you all. I'll shout out more people as they flood in. Meanwhile, let me introduce my co-host here, and we'll play some music here. We'll get the music going here for him. Come on. Color, my man. What's going on?
Good morning, Ali. How's everybody this morning?
Yes, good morning. I am doing great. I feel 1,000 times better after having the crud. It was horrible. Oh my God, Color. I don't wish it upon anybody. And I just want to say something real quick before I forget, because Michael K decided to call you out, Color, saying that he says ColorCom's going to be late. Hell no, Color wasn't late. He was here in the back. I was letting him chill. It's early. Getting back into the swing of things at 5 a.m. is not easy. You know that. I know that. So just wanted to shout out to you, Color.
Right on. Yeah, Michael K. Yeah, challenge accepted and defeated.
Speaking of challenges, have you decided
I'm
on
going
a
back
new
to
name?
sleep. Just kidding.
Have you decided a new name for Michael K? Because that's the big challenge from last night.
Oh yeah, that's Peduncle Bob.
Peduncle Bob. So you heard it here from Color, right? When you see Michael K, no longer address him as Michael K. It's now Peduncle Bob, right?
Yep.
So Peduncle Bob from the Bills, I'm sorry. That's how we will address him from now on. So you heard it here on TFTG, top of the tailgate. Hit the like button. So, Color, I know it's been 2 weeks. Like I said, I had the crud. That's old news now. I even when I thought I felt better, I was like super tired, bro. I couldn't even get I was going to bed and waking up, and half the day was already gone. Like I went to bed. I want to say it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I woke up and it's already like 3 p.m. the next day. You know what I mean? That's how much energy it drained out of me. But this week is the eve of training camp. Now I know that the rookies and stuff have been there and whatnot and getting transitioned, and they're probably going through their physicals and all their stuff that they go through. But Sunday is the first day of training camp, and and I know that that we're gonna be there, and specifically you, because you're gonna be going to camp, and I'm gonna be there, and we're gonna be reporting on it. So, are you excited? Are you excited for camp?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good to get out there and see some action, man.
I think I'm going to be happy, not just for the action, but I'm going to get to see familiar faces. You know, the faces of Miami Dolphin home games. I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see the fans. I want to see friends. I want to, I want to be part of the Miami Dolphin action. It's going to be great being by the stadium again. If you haven't been to training camp, or if you get your lucky chance of getting a ticket, and I may have an extra one here or there, and I might give out this week. I have to find out, but I will say it is hell of an experience. The training facility is really nice looking. People don't tailgate as they do like at a regular game, but it's cool. You can hang out in the parking lot. People throw football around, maybe play music. The Miami Dolphins usually have it's like a store or merch store called the Garage Sale that they sell a lot of previous year's merch and stuff that's been used by players at a discounted rate. I know I was lucky enough to procure a helmet. The helmet that I got, normally brand new and everything, is normally like a couple $100, but I got it for about $75. So that to me was a big discount. They sell jerseys at huge discounted rates. So definitely check out the garage sale. It's going to be a lot of fun. But there's a lot of stuff. You can get your pictures taken, with Flipper and, and others. They have some cool photo opportunities and whatnot. And it's your best chance to get your memorabilia signed by players. People line up along the fence line, and at the end of practice, quite a handful of players, including Tua and other players, will come by and sign autographs. I know I got everybody and their mom to sign my helmet I got last year. I even got your favorite quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, color. So, yeah, I got Agba. I got everybody. Now there are some guys, such as Christian Wilkins, that they will only sign for the kids. And I appreciate that. I respect, big time respect on that. So shout out to Christian Wilkins. If that's what they're doing, then that's fine. I don't mind. But yeah, it's a cool experience. You get a good chance to, even if they don't sign anything, the fact that you can be 5-10 feet away from them and take photos and stuff, that's really badass. Don't you agree, Color?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm actually, this year my goal is to at least get a picture taken or maybe something signed by your favorite defensive end.
Oh yeah,
Jalen Phillips. I want to meet him. I did not get to meet him last season.
Now he'll make sure to do the kids first, but he'll still give you, still give you an autograph, but he'll make sure to take care of the kids first.
Man, I gotta bring my son, bro. I gotta bring my daughter or my son to the game then, to training camp. Yeah. So, Color. So let's get back into swing of things, right? If you haven't already, folks, hit like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Let me see if I got any. Oh, Dolphin Winners is here. What's up, Dolphin Winners? How you doing, man? Appreciate everything. And Appreciate you dropping by. Trying to see if there's anybody else new in the chat. No. Okay. Let's get back in the swing of things. So hit like and subscribe. Coffee of the week. Now, this coffee I'm drinking, I'm not drinking anything special. It's just regular great value breakfast blend. I don't have any information about where Great Value gets their beans. I know they use 100% Arabica beans. I know that for a fact. The taste isn't bad. It's not bad for the price. I've had a lot worse coffee for being budget brand coffee compared to this. It's actually not too bad. It's flavorful. Definitely gets me up in the morning. It's not the boldest coffee or anything, it doesn't have the most richest taste, but it's not bad. You're only paying what, $4 or $5 for a box of 12. It's not bad. You can get it at any Walmart. You let it be neighborhood or regular Walmart or on Walmart.com. What are you drinking, Color?
I am currently drinking some 8 o'clock coffee, medium roast. Nice smooth flavor. And, I believe we're looking at some, beans from the Eastern Hemisphere. Because it does have a nice little smooth flavor. Not much different than, the others that I prefer.
Ah, gotcha. Interesting. My question for 8 o'clock coffee company, is it 8 o'clock a.m. or p.m.?
Oh, definitely AM.
Definitely AM. If you haven't heard of 8 o'clock coffee, they have really good coffee. You can go to 8o'clock.com, legitly. 8o'clock.com is their website. You can check out all the different types of coffees. They have tips, recipes. They got a lot of information. They have an interesting story. They have over 100 years history, Color. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. So you don't get to 100 years young without reinventing yourself every once in a while. 100 years young. I like that. I actually like how they said that. Throughout the years, we've explored new varieties, changed their look, rolled out ground coffee and single-serve Keurig K-Cup packs. But there are some things will never change. For starters, the classic flavors inside their new bags remain untouched. All of the whole bean and ground varieties continue to be crafted using only high-quality 100% Arabica beans, and all of their roasting is done at their own facility under expert supervision of master roasters. So they use master roasters. I don't know what that means, but something new to me. I have to look that up. But they got some really interesting history ever since 1919.
Wow.
Yeah.
Survived through the Depression and everything.
Now I know how they got their name. You ready for this? The question I asked about is it AM or PM? They've actually answered that question. Check this out. So, 1919, after running a survey, A&P learns that 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. are the most popular times for drinking coffee and begins selling its coffee under 8 o'clock trademark. So, it does not matter. 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. is the premium time to drink coffee. Interesting.
I'll tell you when the premium time to drink coffee is. Right now.
Yeah, it is right now. I'll tell you that. Oh man, it's been a heck of a time. We haven't done this in a while, Color. I gotta get back into the swing of this, but yeah, 8 o'clock coffee. Check out 8 o'clock coffee. You can get it pretty much everywhere. Walmart, Publix, even Amazon. You can order directly from 8o'clock.com. Again, that's 8o'clock.com. That's spelled out. So definitely check out their website. They have an awesome video that you can watch about their history and everything that they've gone through to become the brand that they are. So definitely check them out.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. Can you tell them tell the people at home about the flavor a little bit more, just real quick before we move on?
Yeah, it's really smooth. It's not too not too deep, bold of flavor, but definitely gives you what you want. Smells great while it's brewing. Really wakes you up. And they do have they have a couple others. They got some darker roast and some lighter roast, but the medium will put you right down smooth alley. And it's kind of got a nice rich flavor that just exactly what you want in a coffee.
Yeah.
Good cup of coffee.
That sounds good. I'll have to try them. I haven't had their coffee yet, but I've heard good things. You're not the first person that told me 8 o'clock is really good to try. So I'm gonna definitely try them. As I've said at the beginning of the show, and I know it's kind of like a broken record now. I had the crud, as you know, color, and I'm not gonna lie, I lost some of my taste buds for a hot minute. Everything tasted like trash, like it went bad. I almost threw away a whole box of coffee because I was like, "Oh my god, what's wrong with the coffee?" You know what I mean? It didn't matter what I added to it; it just got worse and worse. I couldn't even drink. Like Dr. Pepper is one of my favorite sodas to drink. Right? It tasted like every Dr. Pepper we owned was flat. I give you a brand new can, bro, and it's flat. You know what I mean? I made spaghetti, one of my favorite all-time meals. I like Italian food in general, pasta and any type of pasta, right? And sauce and whatnot. And I had one plate and I was ready to vomit, bro. That's how bad it tastes. When you lose your taste buds, it messes with it. And what was worse, I lost my taste buds partially. So some flavors I would taste and the other flavors I wouldn't. And because you don't get that mixture of cohesiveness with the flavors, it was so bad. Even coffee was like, and everything I tasted, I could have gotten a frappuccino and been a foo-foo drinker at Starbucks and it still tasted like crap. It didn't matter. It was that bad.
Wow.
But yeah, so just wanted to share that real quick. But shout out to Adam Sadowski, who's in the chat now. So good morning, sir. Welcome to the show. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. But yeah, that's my my little thought process on coffee, and I appreciate you sharing 8 o'clock. That's a good one. Let's keep it moving though. We got Cause for Cleats color. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we got Cause for Cleats. Let's talk about Cause for Cleats. Now, this Cause for Cleats is brought to you by a former Miami Dolphin. And that is going to be, and I know Miss Fins is probably going to wake up when I say this name. This Cause for Cleats is brought to you by, why don't I have his name here? There it is, Mike Gesicki. I'm sorry, I couldn't even think for a hot minute. And it is called The Arc. And if you don't know what The Arc is, you can go to The Arc. It's spelled The Arc is ARC.org. And no, Shake Money, this is not brought to you by Noah is him Bigogany, or Noah's Ark Bigogany. It is not brought to you by him. It's brought to you by Mike Gesicki. So shout out to him, former Miami Dolphins. The Arc's mission is promoting and protecting the human rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and actively supporting their full inclusion and participation in the community throughout their lifetime. Right? So if you there's a lot of people in our community that they may fall under this. Their impact with help of people like you in our community, they are working every day to build a future of inclusive work, play, worship, community travel, and more. They have over 600 chapters, 600 plus. They've been a nonprofit organization and trying to drive change and protecting the rights of individuals with disabilities for over 70 plus years. They have been part of over 1,000 plus national and community programs. Just so you're aware, they have a variety of different initiatives, maybe education, technology, lobbying for policy change, travel, all different types of programs. that they try to be involved in. They if you want more information, like I said, go to thearc.org. That's THEARC.org. There's a lot of information on their initiatives, how to get involved, how to donate. You want to be part of their chapter, one of their chapters. It has information on that. There's tons of resources. So if you have anybody that has a disability or an intellectual developmental problem or anything, check out the ARC. There's might be programs and stuff there that might help them or you may not be aware of. But they have, they go as far as helping people with intellectual problems, find employment, how to plan for their future, their health, travel, and, tons of stuff. They even have assistance with criminal justice programs and stuff that involve these, people with these types of developmental issues and whatnot. So definitely check out the ARC. We really appreciate it. Again, and I've said this from the very beginning, we're not affiliated with any of the Cause for Cleats that we bring up. We are only bringing them up because we're trying to bring the humanity back to the community, because they're good causes. These are programs that people like you and I, or you color, or somebody you may know that need to know about. They may have somebody that falls under this. I know quite a few of the things that we brought up from the various different organizations that we've brought up, that I have people personally in my family that could benefit or need to benefit from some of these programs. So definitely check out the arc.org. Again, they'll show you you can donate, or you want resource information, or how to volunteer, or any information on what they do and how they can assist you in any kind of way. Check them out. Appreciate it. Got any words on that, caller? Caller, you're on mute, I think.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
My button wasn't working though.
Oh. Well, any last words about the Cause for Cleat that I brought up, the ARC?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, a great cause, as you always bring to the table to inform us about, and definitely appreciate that.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. So, if there's a, by the way, if you're in the chat or in the comments, and if you want to leave a comment of a organization, some type of cause or anything like that you'd like me to talk about or bring awareness to, put it in the comments below after the show. Put it in the comments. We'll try to see if we can talk about it or bring that to the table.
For sure.
I've gone through the list of the current registered Miami Dolphins list. So I don't really have any Miami Dolphin ones to bring up because I like to shout out to their organizations first. So now I'm starting to diversify into the other teams and the players and stuff, what organizations they represent. But I'm okay with it. Just let's just bring awareness to it. That's all it is.
Yep.
All right. So road to 1,000 Twitter followers. Yes. If you didn't know, me and Color are trying to get to 1,000 Twitter followers. It's an easy way for us to keep you guys informed on upcoming TFTG content, as well as keep you guys informed on information that we receive, or updates, or NFL updates, or all that kind of stuff. We want to connect with our audience. It's not just for news, NFL, or TFTG. We honestly, truly want to connect with our audience. We want to, have conversations with you like anyone else. We want to bring up, hey man, how's the weather? Or hey, did you guys see this on TV and stuff? We want to chat with you guys. It's a good way to be inclusive with our fan base. So we'd like to get to 1,000 followers. Again, if you can follow me on Twitter, my handle is at Ali_the Persian. As you can see here, in color commentary is at colorcom. Just search for that on Twitter. You can find us. Follow us. We have over 5,000 subscribers. Color. We should be able to get to 1,000 pretty easy. We just need to bring out the awareness of that.
Yep, and it's been working. I've been gaining probably 2 or 3 per day, whereas I might get 2 or 3 per month before. So it's definitely working. It's paying off. Letting people know and driving it.
And just so you know, there's no monetary, benefit for me to have 1,000 followers. The only reason I'm trying to get to 1,000 is because the more people I can follow and they follow me, the more stuff I can get on my feed that directly affects my fan base when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. That's basically what it comes down to it. I want to know about different stuff going on in the Dolphin community. I want to know people's thoughts on Dolphins and what they got going on.
Not only that, but you got, look, I'm not all about the vanity or anything, but you got complete trolls on Twitter that got 20,000 followers. What the heck is wrong with us? Get over there and follow us.
Yeah, I'm not trying to follow trolls. I'm trying to follow my community. That's all I'm trying to do.
Exactly. That's the other thing too. Maybe if y'all followed us and we followed back, maybe we all wouldn't be having a bunch of trolls on our timeline all the time.
That's true.
We can all help each other out.
Definitely. And that's the other thing. If you follow me, I will follow you back. So just so you're aware. All right.
I will too eventually, but don't take offense if I don't right away, because sometimes I don't see it right away. And, but yeah, I generally, that's my rule. My rule of thumb is to follow back. So
Definitely. All right, Color. So let's keep it moving. It's time for some football, right?
Oh, wait. What about the TFTGnetwork.com traffic report for Greater Miami and West Palm Beach? Traffic is a little lighter because school's out, but it still sucks all the time. Turn around and go the other way and chop, chop, chop.
That's right. So you heard the traffic report from Color. I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me. It's been a hot minute. The current temperature in Miami, it's 85 degrees. It feels like 96 already. I can see, already excessive heat warning this morning. So just be aware of that. Today's high is 92. The humidity is already at 77%.
Right, you don't say.
Yeah, there's about a 15% chance of rain this early afternoon, just so you're aware. So definitely stay cool, drink water, drink Gatorade, stay hydrated, right? Don't do too much work outside because the heat can catch up to you. I know I had to mow my lawn yesterday because I hadn't mowed it in like over 2 weeks, and I'm not gonna lie, it was so freaking hot. I had to take breaks like every 15 minutes. That's how hot it was in Port St. Lucie. But
you gotta do that in the morning too, man.
Yeah, well, I did mine in the afternoon, thinking it'd be cooler. Really? Yeah, I usually wait till about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and just as I finished is when the storm finally rolled in and the temperature started dropping. So I'm sitting there like, why couldn't you do this earlier? I was even contemplating, if it rains, I don't care. I'm going to mow through the rain because it wouldn't be so bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that is your traffic.
Why y'all think, see, we get all mad, we get a little upset and all that. Saturday morning, you hear all that lawn equipment going on outside at 6 in the morning. Yeah. Or even any day of the week, and you're like, why are they doing that? It's like, well, do you blame them? I mean, they're done with their work by noon every day. Get out of that heat, man.
That is right. That is your TFTGnetwork.com traffic report. Thank you, Color. I appreciate it. It's been a hot minute, so thank you for reminding me. But let's keep it moving, Color. We're already 40 minutes into the show. We got another hour and 20 minutes to go. Let's bring it back to football. So, like I've said, this is the eve of the week of training camp, and there's really not very much news lately. There's been the news that you heard about Dalvin Cook. We talked about it enough last night. I don't want to get further into that. There's really no updates. He's still not a Miami Dolphin yet. Maybe that happens this week or, next week. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Maybe there's more to the story, the crazy story that follows Dalvin Cook and the saga that whole love triangle or whatever that was, happens. Maybe there's more to it. We'll find out. But until then, I'm not going to have anything to say further about it. You have anything further to say about that, so we can just move on?
I do not. The guy is not a Miami Dolphin. I don't even know why we spend so much time on the personal life of somebody that is not even a Miami Dolphin, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it seems like it happens like all the time, Color. It doesn't matter if it's Dalvin Cook, what's his name, Watson. It doesn't matter. It seems like we always got something to say,
Yeah, because we have to have everybody, because we're gonna miss out on Drew Brees again.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be here, and that's why we got to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm starting to not like the guy, to be honest with you. So many people talk him up like, he ain't even in the building, and it's like you got people arguing and fighting over a guy that's not even a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah. Yep, that is absolutely true. But, Color, I said that, everyone wants to be here. That is kind of true. It does seem like everybody does want to be here, though.
Well, it is, but everybody says they want to be here, too.
You just had arguably one of the best, if not the greatest of all time, soccer players sign with Miami. And because he's here now, and that's Lionel Messi, if you didn't even know, he plays for Inter Miami, and who scored his first goal over the weekend. That was pretty awesome. Really awesome penalty kick. It was all over Twitter, YouTube. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Now that he's here, a whole slew of other top-rated talent wants to come to Miami and play. You know what I mean? From around the world. Some big names. Some names that people here probably don't even know who they are, but I will tell you, they are some of the top 25 or top 50 players in the world. And some of these names that I've been told at one point were in the top 5 of players at some point in their career. So it's already having that Miami effect. When one comes, a lot others will follow. Do you think that's true when it comes to Miami?
I mean, I guess I haven't. We all say that, but I really haven't ever seen the results, man. Like I said, everybody says they want to come here. Everybody wants to be here. That's the default answer. Do you want to be in Miami? Yeah, why not? But is that ever the reality of the situation?
That's a good question.
That's why we were so excited about Tyreek last year, because that's literally the first time I think I've ever witnessed us make a move like that in free agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way it happened so quickly and everything, that was really impressive.
And it was exactly, and there was not 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or 2 months of bring him home and all this nonsense. We didn't even know about it, so it's likely that we were never going to get Dalvin Cook as much as we've been talking about it.
Yeah. There has been some reports that the Dalvin Cook thing is more fan driven than it is the organization.
Well, yeah. Have you ever heard of when other teams get players? Mm-hmm. Somebody got Deshaun Watson. Somebody got let's see, who's the more recent one? Somebody got DeAndre Hopkins. Somebody got this guy. Somebody got that guy. Were they all talking about it for months and saying that guy's already a Buffalo Bill, or that guy's already a Jet, or that guy's were their fan bases arguing about these? They didn't even know they were getting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
You didn't see the Jets like plastering their Twitter timelines with "bring Aaron home" and all this other nonsense. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I understand.
To be honest with you, I'm starting to think that players don't want to play for this fan base.
Fan bases can be toxic for players. That's true. That is.
Why would you, man? When you either make one little mistake and you get railed by the whole fan base, or you make one little mistake and you get put up on the biggest pedestal in the world. Take your choice. Depends on which side of the fan base happens to like you this week. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what social media does, Color. That is what social media does.
All
And
I
it
know
did.
is when he's not a Miami Dolphin,
Mm-hmm.
at the start of the season, watch how many people ain't got so many nice things to say about him anymore. Watch how quickly he turns into a trash running back.
Yeah. Yep, I understand what you're saying. Let's keep moving though, Color, because I didn't want to
Yep.
talk too much on
I
this whole
know.
thing right
I
now.
know. I did. That's exactly.
So I was trying to transition into other sports like Lionel Messi, for example.
Well, I mean,
And
you tried soccer,
Lionel,
but you're not going to
Lionel,
get no traction on me with soccer, bro.
not with you, I understand, but Lionel Messi, if you didn't see it, came out in the second half. Made his debut for Inter Miami. Penalty shot in the 94th minute, and just like classic walk off goal, crazy. You got people like some of the biggest names in sports there. You had Serena Williams there. You had LeBron James there. Tua was at the Inter Miami game. And it was star-studded. You had David Beckham and his wife there. David Beckham crying at the end because he's worked so hard to build this team, and he finally it's starting to come around. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. Now, on other,
God, that sounds more scripted than the NFL. Did they actually win the game?
yeah, they won 2-1.
Oh, okay.
It was tied
Okay.
1-1, and 94th minute there was a penalty outside the box, and it was ridiculous. The goal was very impressive, elite style, classic goal, bro. Pretty dope. So definitely check out the video if you get a chance. So shout out to Inter Miami. I'm not the biggest Inter Miami fan. I'm an Orlando fan, Orlando City all the way. It's gonna be crazy going to the game to see Lionel Messi play, because I've already had people trying to buy my tickets offering me like $600. It's kind of ridiculous. So so we'll see what happens with that. You mentioned Hopkins, and Hopkins signed with Tennessee, right? DeAndre Hopkins. Color. I think we lost you. All right. So, Color mentioned DeAndre Hopkins, and I wanted to bring them up real quick.
I'm sorry, Ali, but it was a little malfunction. What was that?
DeAndre Hopkins. He's signed with Tennessee, am I right? Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay. So, shout out to Tennessee. If you haven't seen, Tennessee announced that they'll be wearing their retro Houston Oiler uniforms for 2 games this season, and I've seen some pictures and they look fire, bro. I actually like the retro Houston Oiler uniforms. I would love Miami to bring back the retro uniforms and make that a permanent thing, to be honest. But I'll even take it for 2 games. Have you seen the picture that's going around with the Houston that's the Houston Oiler retro uniform that Tennessee's going to wear?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't, I can't show it because I'll probably get dinged. But if you haven't seen it, go on Twitter or do a Google search for their retro uniform. It looks pretty badass. Not going to lie. It looks really fire. What else we got going on in the world of sports, Color? Let me just check this, because there's not very much Miami Dolphin news. There's an article I'm going to read, but I just wanted to see if there was any other news coming up. So I'm seeing reports that Chris Jones is considering holding out for a better deal at the start of training camp. However, Kansas City won't give Jones $30 million average salary. He's already getting 24-25 million. So we talked about that last night. Let's see what else we got.
Uh, SI Fan Nation for Dolphin Fan Nation on SI has a nice little training camp tracker. They're keeping everything nicely listed and organized over there. Make sure you check them out.
Yeah, I got I saw some of that. A lot of that information is stuff we've already talked about. But we can definitely go over that. Let's actually talk about.
That's just I'm just letting everybody know that's where it's a good place where you can aggregate it all.
Yeah, you can definitely aggregate everything on Fan Nation. You can also go to the Finsider, which is SB Nation.
And the best place of it all, TFTGnetwork.com. Bookmark it, make it your homepage. You'll find everything you need to know about the Dolphins there and about the Fins Tailgate. All the links to all of our content. Make it your centralized location. Bookmark that thing and make it your homepage. Make it the first thing that comes up when you pull open your browser.
Definitely. So, Color, I'm going to read this article. It's by ProFootballNetwork.com. The author is Arif Hassan. So he's an NFL analyst for them. The modern NFL relies on far less on defense in order to win than offenses, but it's difficult to win anything without every unit firing on all cylinders. Sometimes, even in today's football environment, defenses can lead teams to deep playoff runs. For example, the San Francisco 49ers advanced to the NFC Championship game through the strength of their excellent defense. They saw multiple quarterbacks go down over the course of the season and only lost their Super Bowl bid after seeing their third quarterback take an injury against another top-level defense. That's why we generated a model to evaluate defenses and produce their 2023 NFL defense rankings. Now, I'm not going to go through the full list of rankings, Color. I'm going to go through the top 10, and we'll talk about them specifically. But that's where we'll stand, okay, with it. And I'm going to start off with number 10 on their list. The Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals prepared to lose Jesse Bates III when they drafted Dax Hill a year prior, and they'll rely on Nick Scott to replace Von Bell. Losing Eli Apple might even be an upgrade. With all of that, Cincinnati's net talent might improve after having drafted Miles Murphy. That's definitely interesting. I definitely agree. I do think that there might be slight regression in the safety position in Cincinnati, but I don't think that Cincinnati is going to lose a step when it comes to their defense. Their defense, they may not have all the big names and everything, but they're very coached well. And that's why I think that they get, they're able to make certain deep playoff runs, more on a consistent basis. You had where the last two seasons, you've had situations where, Cincinnati has either made the Super Bowl or got to the AFC Championship game. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that they do very well. They have very good coaching over there. What do you think, Color?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they just play sound defense. They make sure that they hold their opponent to less points than their offense scores. And like you said, not a lot of big names, but they do the job.
Yeah, they do the job. They're very coached very well, and their coaches effectively use their talents that they do have to their benefit when it comes to strategizing against certain teams. Let's keep it moving. Number 9, Denver Broncos. This is an interesting one for me, only because the fact that the Broncos last season had, in my opinion, one of their worst years yet. Their defense had lost some players, but there's still talent on that team.
You don't say.
Yeah, the Broncos have had a good defense for quite some time, but they won't reach the heights they did in 2015. Denver swapped Draymond Jones for Zach Allen, which is a downgrade, but they helped Pat Surtain II with a third-round pick, Riley Moss. So their secondary should be pretty decent. I'm wondering about their linebacker core. I still think they have some holes on that defense, so it's interesting that they're in the top 10. I had them just outside the top 10 personally. Any thoughts on Denver's defense? Anything you want to add to them?
No, it sounds like shedding a bunch of pass rushers for secondary. See if it works out for them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. And here we go, number 8. Now, I think number 8, honestly, in my opinion, I think they're a little bit underrated when I say this name. Perhaps no team lost more in free agency on defense than the Philadelphia Eagles. They're out. They're 2 starting safeties. They're starting linebacker, a starting defensive line, and more defensive line depth. Philadelphia still kept corners and their persistent defensive investments over the past 3 years, which should allow them to weather those losses, just not to play at the same level as they did last season. I agree, but I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. If you go back and look and see what they did in the draft, yeah, they did lose people on the defensive line front, but they revamped that defensive line, and it looks just as scary as it did last season. That's a fact. They do have some questions at linebacker. I understand. They still have what's his name? Sly. What's his name? Darius Sly, I think his name is, the corner. They still have him. In their secondary. I think they're going to be okay. The biggest question is coaching. Can their new defensive coordinator take over where the other one, who had left to become a head coach, can he take over where that person left off? You know what I mean? That's going to be the big question mark for me. What do you think about Philadelphia Eagles defense?
Well, they had to cut bait somewhere. Apparently, they were going to, rely on offense to continue scoring and keeping that defense off the field.
That's true. I mean, you have guys like Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, who I think is a big-time underrated receiver in this league, Devonta Smith. You have these guys, over there, and not including their tight ends, who are ridiculous, by the way, that they have there. You can see they're relying on that offense. This is an offensive league. They cut, on the defensive side of things. I still think that they, what they did in the offseason by revamping their defensive line, they shored up their secondary, in my opinion. I think that they're going to actually play themselves into a deep playoff run again, maybe even another.
Yeah, and it seems like they got a system that works there, Ali, because, we can't forget that the quarterback that won the Super Bowl for them is still playing in the league. They didn't. It's not like they didn't win the Super Bowl 10 years ago. They just won it like 4 years ago, and they already got back. You know what I mean? They had to shed some. They obviously had to shed some weight after that Super Bowl victory. They fired their head coach, revamped the whole thing, and they're already back in the mix. So they've got something going on there with their program and a good conveyor system that, I think they're going to be just fine on defense with whatever moves they've made. Maybe it won't pan out right away this year, but if they keep clicking on offense, there isn't any reason they can't still be competitive and possibly find themselves in the game again. I mean, and if not, it's not going to be long before they do again, because, again, like I said, it's not long ago they won the Super Bowl already. I mean, they're right back in it. Eagles are turning out to be like your more long-term good team, if you really think about the last 5-6 years with them.
And see, that's something you just stated right there, Color. When it comes to what they did, they shed certain parts of their defense so they can have what? Continued success. I brought this up last night when we were talking about Christian Wilkins. I love Christian Wilkins. I think he's a team guy. He's fun. He's fan friendly. He does a lot of great things well. He's just not he doesn't get the elite production that we absolutely need, that we actually have to pay for. And at some point, you have to decide what is more important for you, Color. Holding on to your own just because of the name and the guy, because you like him and he's like your best friend that you don't want to leave behind, or continued success. That's really what the question is going to be. And I think Philadelphia decided that continued success was more important than certain names that they had on defense or in certain positions, let's just say. What do you think about that?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, they obviously, when you look at the whole scheme of things, they have really a system that they can kind of plug anybody into. They had Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
He goes down. They plug in Foles, win a Super Bowl. Then they draft Hurts, get back to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a model of a team game right there. I mean, they definitely have put together something, that works in Philadelphia.
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking about this after the show last night. I was thinking, maybe Vic Fangio and Miami have decided that there's so much talent on this team already. We've had articles that we read that we need to find talent. I don't really think we have to find talent. I think the issue is finding the talent at depth, right? That's what we need to find. We need to find the depth players, the backups, the second and third stringers, or fourth stringers. That's what we need to find. But maybe they feel like there's so much talent on this team already that they don't really have to bring in people. That's a possibility too. We talked about them bringing in linebacker. We think linebacker is an issue. Is it really an issue? Do we really feel the need? Because I honestly think if Miami really felt that way, and let's say Vic Fangio felt that way, don't you think we would have gotten Quan Alexander by now? Just to give a name out there. That. Somebody like that. You know what I mean? They say safety is an issue, but we picked up Deshaun Elliott. That's pretty much the only person in the safety position that we brought in.
Right.
So those are two positions.
I think they're gonna, again, we're still waiting for things to shake out in camp, man, because you just don't know what's going to happen with injuries and all that.
That's true. Maybe one of these undrafted free agents that we have is the next Cater Cahoon. Who knows? And they probably have to figure things out. You're right. That is a big possibility. My point is, if it was that big of a pressing need, they would have already addressed it, right? Linebacker is definitely a pressing need, in my opinion, specifically middle linebacker. But I think with the amount of outside linebackers that we have, some of them that can play the inside, like Andrew Van Ginkel, who I think is going to have a breakout season this season, just my opinion. I think that they realize that they have a little bit more depth than what they think, and it may not be so bad, and maybe that's why they're not in a rush. So we'll see what's up with that. But I do think that Eagles have it right. They're making the moves to make sure they continuously are successful rather than just having a 1 year all-in type of route. So
and it seems to be working for them.
Yeah, definitely. Let's keep it moving on this list. Now, the next two teams that I'm going to talk about, I don't necessarily agree with the order that they have these next two teams with, but I kind of agree that they do belong in the top 10. All right, so let's talk about them. I know this is going to be a hot take for some people. Number 7 is the Miami Dolphins color. The Miami Dolphins might experience the biggest glow up of any defense this year. In 2022, Miami finished 24th in EPA per play, but they added Jalen Ramsey, David Long, Deshaun Elliott in free agency, and should see some help with Cam Smith. Positive regression from Xavier Howard should help as well. With all that, plus Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins up front, they should perform very well. I definitely agree with this. I don't necessarily agree that they're number 7. I think they're more of number 6, and you'll find out why, specifically on who the next team is. But I have to agree, they definitely belong in the top 10 color. Talent-wise, we have top 10 talent all over the place when it comes to our defense. I honestly think coaching was a big issue. Bring in the proper coach to effectively put each player on that defense in the proper position to excel based on their talents, right? Put them in a position to succeed. I think that they'll do very well. And, Xavier Howard had that concern, had that concern earlier on in the season. Even actually not in the season, but in the offseason, he said that he felt he wasn't put in certain positions to succeed, and he thinks Vic Fangio will do that a lot better for him. So what do you think about that? Do you agree with the Dolphins being, let's say, in the top 7? Do you think they're up?
I can see that, but a lot of that's projection, obviously. I mean, which is fair because of without making excuses, it's fair to say that we were a little decimated in our secondary last year, and a lot of stuff didn't pan out that we expected to because of that. So given that those additions because of people getting healthy, you'd like to believe that we can actually project something bigger than last year. And hell, I mean, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, hey, it's a duck,
Is that Egyptian geese I heard in the background?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Was that your Egyptian geese that I heard in the background?
Oh no, he's not they moved off for a second. I don't know. I think they're busy making another batch of goslings.
Oh boy.
Getting the freak on. But I mean, I look at it, our biggest issue last year, tackling at the linebacker level and points per games. I mean, we get our points per game back down to what we're normally used to, then we should be in the top 10, if not the top 5. I do agree that, by the end of the season, those places will probably be reversed. But also a particular phrase that the author used, positive for Xavier Howard, positive regression. So they do use that oxymoron to describe a regression to the mean, where you're lower than you normally are, and you progress back to the mean. That's actually positive regression, which what they're saying there with Xavier Howard is, hey, he had a down year last year. If he gets back to his averages, which it would be regression to the mean, he will be better this year than he was last year. So that's called positive regression. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it makes sense if you really think about it. And I think we're going to see a lot of that across the whole defense when it comes to getting these injured players back healthy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. In addition to that, I think the one thing our defense was lacking, and I think if this was not the issue, let's say we didn't have a regression at this, I think our defense would have been ranked a lot higher than just 24th last year. But that's the turnover battle, bro. I think if the turnover battle was more on our average, what we've seen in previous years, specifically in the interception ratio is what I'm talking about, I think the defense would be a lot higher ranked, and it wouldn't look as bad as as what people want to say it does. But I think that's what's missing out of the production that they had. You know what I mean?
And don't forget the improvements we expect to make on offense. The longer we hold on to the ball, the better that's going to be for our defense. And they'll inherently get better when it comes to the stats and the rankings and all that, because our offense is better. So that's part of it too. We always forget how important each side of the ball is to each other. I mean, you can look at defense getting better just because of things you've done on offense. You have to take that into consideration too.
Definitely.
If our offense is on the field a little bit longer than last year, that's good for maybe a point shaved off of our points per game on defense.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's keep it moving, Color. I'm going to go on to the next team. And this team is also another AFC East team. In fact, the entire AFC East made the top 10. Just to give you guys a little spoiler alert. This is the team that I said that I don't necessarily agree with. I think this team's number 7 and Miami's number 6. Just my opinion. Is the Buffalo Bills. A full healthy season from Von Miller, Tre'Davious White, as well as snaps from free agent signing Leonard Floyd, should mean a big step forward over last year. Buffalo still has their elite safety pair and should have a much better season at cornerback overall, even without Tremaine Edmonds. The Bills are projected to compete for a top 5 spot defensively. Yeah, I understand it, Color. I do. I do think they do have some question marks, specifically at corner. Who really, I know Mark has stated that, what's his name? Elam, I think is his name, is their bona fide number 2. But that is a question mark. Can he be the number 2? Can he carry that load that he needs to on his side? You're also getting an older Hoyer at safety. Will that person be able to maintain their success as well in production? There's some question marks here. I don't think they upgraded their defense, very much at all. The biggest upgrade, in my opinion, is the fact that who's going to be calling the defense. That's their coach. Their head coach is going to be calling the defense, and I think that's the bigger upgrade that they have had compared to some of the people they brought in. What do you think about that?
I see already. You see our resident Bills fans already chirping in the chat. Well, you know what? Y'all got to address the issue, whatever issue there is, as to why you're almost letting a 7th round rookie beat you in a playoff game. So if you don't think that you're regressing, or you don't think that you're slacking, I mean, just look at that alone. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to fix them holes, man. Y'all are sliding. That's all there is to it. And I agree with Ali. I think we should have leapfrogged you already.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. Listen, I'll give where credit is due. Michael K and Mark. I see Mark in there. The Buffalo Bills definitely have a top 10 defense. All these teams, I think, are deserving of the top 10 defense, in my opinion. So the fact that you're in the top 10, personally, I don't really hold weight to the fact that you're not in the top 5, because all these defenses that are in the top 10 at some point during the season, their defense will play as well as a top 5 talent. So technically, there's an argument to be made that any of these defenses, with the exception of the Broncos, in my opinion, I think any of these defenses at some point can arise to be a top 5 talent. What do you think, Color?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whether it's 10th or 1st, they'll all be hovering around there the whole year.
Yeah. So far, the teams we've talked about, that's kind of where I see it. Now, the next team, if you want to be butthurt about something, Buffalo, this is what you should be butthurt about. The New England Patriots. Yes, New England Patriots, and Bill Belichick always finds a way to make the Patriots defense overperform its talent. And they just added Christian Gonzalez and Keon White to the unit. New England re-signed their defensive free agents, which should allow them to maintain their elite performance. What do you think, Color? Do you agree with that? New England has a better defense than Buffalo. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. They were ranked higher last year in a lot of metrics.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Gonzalez, I believe he's the corner out of Oregon, I think. I could be wrong about that. But I know he looked really good during the draft. If it's the same person I'm thinking on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's very impressive that New England year after year tends to play very good defense, and you know they don't make a lot of changes. You know what I mean, to their defense. They don't go out and sign really big name players to their defense. I think the last person that they signed recently that was kind of a big name was what was his name? The guy of the Ravens, Judon, I think his name was, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
I think. Yeah, they don't do it very often, but they'll do it every once in a while. But they tend to maintain that good defense. So I'm very impressed with that. The next team is kind of in question. And they have a very good defensive front. Don't get me wrong. You got guys like Chase Young, and that's the Commanders, the Washington Commanders. New name to be determined. That's going to be interesting. Shout out to the Washington Commanders. The sale finally went through.
I guess the commies didn't go over very well, huh?
Yeah, the Washington Commanders have new ownership. Part of that ownership is Magic Johnson, who I'm gonna shout out to Magic Johnson, not just because I'm a Laker fan. It's not just because of that. It's very impressive what he has been able to do after basketball. You know, a lot of these stars or professional athletes after basketball, yeah, they can get into commentary, and yeah, they may go get into movies and stuff like that. That can happen from time to time, but very often you don't hear from them very much. And it's very hard for people to get into the executive office level of things or ownership of things and be very successful, right? But you look at guys like Magic Johnson, who has an ownership stake in the Los Angeles Dodgers, very successful team, and they continue to be successful year in and year out. You look at now he's part owner of the Washington Commanders. He's been very successful at all of the different levels of either ownership or even executive ownership. Not executive ownership, I would say executive offices that he's held for sports franchises. Even the Lakers. He was part of the reason why LeBron James is a Laker today. I find that to be successful. And look, some of the moves that Magic Johnson made, not really him making, but were made under his watch, regardless of the fallout between him and his GM, Blinka, led to them winning an NBA championship. So it is very impressive. If you look at all the different businesses and stuff that Magic Johnson has been involved in, has been very successful. So that's why I wanted to give a shout out to him. But that being said, there's rumors that Washington, actually there's not rumors, I believe they said in their press conference that they're looking at a name change. So Commanders may not be their name going forward, just so you're aware of that. But what they said about them, the Washington Commanders are a bit of a dark horse when it comes to defensive performance. Washington finished 7th in points allowed last season and 5th in EPA per play. The Commanders did benefit from a schedule full of backup quarterbacks, but they also have a fantastic defensive interior, great edge defenders, and have made investments in the secondary. What do you think, Colin? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the numbers don't lie. It's not like we all follow the Commanders everywhere in their defense, but if that's the case with their points per game, then yeah, I mean, that's pretty stuff.
I definitely agree with their defensive interior and the defensive end positions. I think they're very successful. I've watched Chase Young; he's very successful. They have what's the defensive tackle that they just re-signed? Payne. He's very successful, at what he does. So they're very good up front. Secondary, I have to look to see what their what additions they made and what they did to improve that. because I didn't really follow them too much. But I think that's kind of where their defensive was lacking last season. I want to say it was in the secondary position, I believe. But it's very interesting. They have them as the number 4 defense. So I think any of the people that we just talked about could slide into that number 4 spot very easily at some point during the season. Number 3 color. Number 3. San Francisco 49ers. Last season, the 49ers finished this year with the NFL's best defense. Some of it was an under-sustainable reliance on turnovers. And going forward, they'll suffer from losing depth at edge defender, along with players like Emmanuel Mosley and safety Jimmy Ward. Still, San Francisco has Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Talanoa, and I apologize if I don't say this correctly, Hafanga. I apologize if I didn't say that correctly. And Charvarius Ward. They also added Javon Hargrave. Their defense does play very well. They're one of those teams that is coached very well. Nick Bosa is a monster. He is as advertised. I don't think there's a team that he can't go to and play very well. I think it doesn't matter where you put him. He could be with the Browns. He could be with the worst team in the NFL and still be just as successful. That's how good Nick Bosa is. I see them as being a top 5, definitely for sure. Number 3, very possibly. I kind of agree with San Francisco where they're at. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they've been consistently good the past couple of seasons. Great pass rush, obviously. So, and like you're saying, they got a guy that can disrupt a football game, and that's generally what tends to cause turnovers. So, I don't know about it not being sustainable, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, the biggest question mark for them is going to be their new defensive coordinator, because I believe their coordinator went to Texans as the head coach now. So their defensive coordinator is going to be the biggest question. Can that person continue to put them in the proper position to be very successful? Will there be any drop-off? On a player personnel point, I don't really see their defense being dropping off. It's really just on a coaching standpoint for me. So that's where I'm at with it. Any thoughts on that, or you agree?
No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so I think that's where you're going to see the regression, maybe on the coaching side, but that would be about it. The next team, this is a question mark for me, because there are times when this team plays very high-level defense, and then there are times where I'm kind of like, yeah, they're more of a middle-of-the-pack defense, right? But they're number 2 on this list. Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys likely have the best pass rush in 2023, adding Stephon Gilmore to a cornerback group that has Trayvon Diggs should help too, and they don't have much roster turnover to worry about. So that's why they're number 2. They really didn't have very much turnover in the roster for the most part. They did slightly improve in Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is, how do I put this? He's older now, and he's been in the league for several years. I don't think he's the Stephon Gilmore of the Buffalo Bills and the Patriot heydays. I still think he's effective. He showed he can be very good still as a Colt. It'll be interesting what, if he can still find continued success in Dallas. What else? Who else they have? Who's their big time player they have over there at Dallas? Their pass rusher.
Do they still have Van Der Esch at linebacker, and who else they got? Parsons? Not
Parsons.
Yeah,
is it Parsons? Yeah, I think it's Parsons. That guy is a beast. That guy, he's not even considered at his prime yet, and that guy is a beast, bro. I think he has another year to go to actually be considered hitting his prime, and he's already that good, bro. So they definitely, their pass rush is ridiculously good. I think they'll continue to find good success and continue to
their defense seems to be put together a lot like ours, man. You know, if you really think about it, they've just been able to put it together on the field with less injuries the last season or two. So it's probably why they're up there in the closer to the number one spot than we are. But I look at their defense and the way they try to do things as very similar to ours.
Yeah, I think their linebacker core is a little bit better than ours, just a little bit better. And I think that's
they tackle better. That's
that's
our
why I'm
only
saying
issue.
they're better.
I know I harp on it a lot, but it's really our only issue.
No,
linebacker.
it's okay. It's okay, Color. Harp on it because that is our biggest issue last season. If you really want to look at what was the problem last season, why teams were able to score on us more, why teams were able to get away from us at certain times, it came down to poor tackling. That was the number one issue last
because
season.
you can
outside
put
of the turnovers
in the right
that I
place.
mentioned. Outside of those turnovers that we were lacking last season, if you really look at it, the next biggest issue, which in fact I think is more of an issue, is the poor tackling. You fix that problem, and I think our defense is going to be just as good to be a top 5 defense, not a problem. That's just my opinion. But the issue with Dallas is they have a top good defense. Their defense is very well coached. And it is built very much like ours. They just have better linebackers, in my opinion, and tackling. Yeah,
which is funny because you mentioned that they have great coaching.
Yeah,
and that fundamentally translates to good fundamentals. Like tackling. So I mean, I don't think it's inherently a problem with our guys that we can't tackle. I think that with all this stuff going on the last couple of seasons, people got away from fundamentals, and a good seasoned veteran like with good success like Vic Fangio could serve to change a lot of that.
Yeah, and just and here's another thing. They have something that we talked about coaching and stuff, because good tackling is something that I think coaches bring, or if you're an effective coach, that you can make.
Right, because at the professional level, it's about reminding people of what the fundamentals are. It's not so much teaching people like we always say. Mm-hmm. It's more retraining. It's more, don't forget this, don't forget that. Because players have so much coming at them, and especially during the play. I mean, they have to have a guy. That's precisely what a coach is. The guy that sits there and looks at all the stuff that you can't look at because you're busy doing the job. It's no different than a caddy. The caddy is there. It helps a golfer win just as much as the golfer does. If you've got a good caddy, a guy that knows which iron to pull out for you, a guy that's basically thinking for you, about the fundamentals, not thinking in the regards of your intelligence, but more the fundamentals. I preach on this a lot with the wide receiver group. Like, we shouldn't be dropping balls if our wide receiver coach is a Super Bowl champion. What's his job? His job is to remind our guys of the fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was trying to say, is just like us, I think that Dallas has a very high quality defensive coordinator coach, and that's Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Dan Quinn belongs. Dan Quinn should be a head coach in this league, to be honest.
Well, and maybe Fangio shouldn't be a head coach. Obviously, he didn't have such a great time in Denver, but I put Fangio on in Quinn's level. I think when you talk about the 5 DCs of the league that are the most trusted and known and proven, you got guys like Dan Quinn, Vic Fangio, and among others. I mean,
Bill Belichick. Come on, let's be real. He's the defensive coordinator for that team.
Of course. You got Dean Pease. You got a couple other guys too. You know what I mean? So, again, I look for those tackling issues to rectify themselves, because you don't have a guy. Let's face it. Look, you can agree about Boyer or not, but one thing is certain is that he sort of was a deer stuck in the headlights. If you ask me, that's really ultimately what I kind of see that in the macro, as a guy that was just over out in front of his skis. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think he's
So,
bad. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he's a great, it could be a great DC somewhere and maybe never again, but he's a great coach. He's just, I think he was out in front of his skis with us.
yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. It's really interesting what Dallas is doing there. Their defense very similar to ours. I think you fix like you said, you fix the tackling, and our defense could could match up with them very well. Down, later on in the season, our production might be very similar. Let's keep it moving. The number one defense color. Now, I mentioned earlier the AFC East made the entire.
Yeah,
top.
I know. I already figured who it was going to be, man. Kind of.
Yeah. Let's talk
with
about
good reason. With good reason. I don't want to throw shade on it, but
so the New York Jets have the top-rated defense according to this list. This is according to ProFootballNetwork.com. Last year, New York ranked 6th in expected points allowed per play, with both DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner at cornerback. They have a great shot at repeating that, they say. Adding Will McDonald should improve the Jets' already productive pass rush. They just re-signed Quinnen Williams to a long-term deal. Hell of a player. New York suffered from QB play that created several short fields last year, but still ranked 4th in points allowed. Now with Aaron Rodgers, they'll see the field less often and have fewer opportunities to give up points. They're not wrong. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, if he is definitely Aaron Rodgers that we know and that we've seen in this league, they definitely should be in better positions last season. They shouldn't be in short field situations as much.
So if they're not wrong,
mm-hmm.
then which one of these statements is true? Skylar Thompson is that good, or the Jets defense is overrated? One of those has to be true.
That is definitely a good question. That is definitely a good question. But
it's not as if we're talking about a subjective. Oh, they put him number 1, but they're really number 5. No, that's the top-rated defense for a reason, and I think good reasons.
Let me ask you this, Color, because you mentioned this earlier on in this conversation about the defenses. You mentioned that the defense and the offense go hand in hand. Without a decent defense, your offense can only carry you so far, and without a decent offense, your defense can only carry you so far. That's what you said earlier.
Exactly.
So my question is that brings up the question is, are you saying because of their issues at QB play last season that defense was not as good? So they're only good now because they have Aaron Rodgers?
No. I think the defense is the same, is just as good. I think that the results were not there because of poor offense. Same with us. You could argue. Besides the injuries, you know what I mean? But at the same time, because look, I'm sure their points per game on offense was much lower than ours, so yeah, you would think that a guy like Aaron Rodgers, when you're speaking strictly in a WAR number, wins above replacement, and apply that to time of possession, yeah, I don't see any reason why a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers couldn't hold on to the ball a little longer, which would in turn strengthen their defense. In other words, this top rating, they wouldn't have got this top rating had it not been for that. They might have been 3, 4, whatever. They'd be being talked up. But to estimate that they're going to have the top rated defense, you have to be factoring in the fact that their offense is going to click more. I'm not talking about whether Aaron Rodgers is going to take them all the way and all this other stuff, or whether he's washed up. I can tell you that he's going to have the ball longer and more time of possession than one Joe Flacco or Zach Wilson. And if you don't think that, then I hate to say it, but you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Color. It'll be very, it'll be very interesting to see what they do. That it.
Look. Skyler
Mm,
split his series with them, basically, right?
mm,
And nobody's gonna say Skyler's a world beater. Okay, so what was it that allowed a rookie like Skyler, take our team and win with it against that top-rated defense? I would argue, well, since the score was low, what was the score? 12-9 or something? It ended up being 11-9 or something, 16-9. I don't remember what it was. You don't think though that their offense with Aaron Rodgers, that game right there against our 7th-round rookie, wouldn't have been a different result? Possibly.
That's true.
At least for their defense, we might have still won the game, but I'm pretty sure their defense would have looked better or had better numbers in the long run.
I mean, obviously, it comes down to the fact that because of their lackluster quarterback play, they had shorter fields. They were on the field longer.
Time of possession. Yep.
Yeah. So
look. If your defense is on the field less, wouldn't that inherently drive down your points per game?
Yeah, that would, because they're not the ones letting the points in. Exactly.
And if your offense is constantly holding on to the ball, your defense is going to be fresher and stronger, which is also going to cause more turnovers.
Yeah. It's interesting. We'll see what happens, Color. But yeah, this is the defensive rankings according to ProFootballNetwork.com. So you want to check out their article, you can go to their website and check that out. I'm very interested to see how where our defense takes us this year, Color. I think I think
we have a chance to really be big if we can fix our tackling issues and start to really produce like we expect on offense. I think our defense, same with last year, I think we could easily be top 5 or number 1 at some point in the season.
Yeah, I definitely think we should be able to be top 5, definitely for sure, at some point during the season. And I think that we just need, fix the tackling. Yeah, there's going to be some scheme differences here and there that you're going to see, but I think with Vic Fangio, we don't have very much to worry about, to be honest. The biggest question is,
Vic should be coming in preaching, hey, look, I can put you all in the right position all day long, but you have to do the job once you're there, or it doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah, the biggest question mark for me is going to be depth at defensive tackle and maybe middle linebacker, if anything. But those are the biggest question marks I have. I don't even have questions at the secondary like some people.
Right.
Like at safety, I don't.
Secondary, yeah. I mean, secondary is going to come together just fine.
Yeah. So I don't think that's really a question for me.
See, I'm of the thought, and maybe I'm in a big time minority here, but I honestly believe Jalen Ramsey is of the level of primetime, and I don't think he's lost a beat at all. I think he's going to come in here and be Jalen Ramsey that we all know.
Yeah, and I think that's something. I think you're going to definitely see a huge better improvement, with Vic Fangio and Jalen Ramsey. You've seen how good he's been.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, you've seen how good he's been, with other teams, under other defenses and everything. Imagine what a guy like him can take away from Vic Fangio, and what he's going to do. So it's going to be...
I'm going to go ahead and steel man everybody. They're going to come back at me and say, well, look at last year, Color. He regressed. You're talking about the entire team taking the year off. And if you don't think they did, then come on. I mean, you got Cooper Kupp playing 9 games. Matt Stafford played 9 games. You know,
You had Baker Mayfield playing your quarterback, bro.
they started from the get-go saying, we're not going to have a Super Bowl. If we're going to have a Super Bowl slump, we're going to do it on our terms. And they said, okay, everybody take care of yourselves. If everybody's going to pop up with injuries all of a sudden, then just go ahead and pop up with them, and let's do what we need to do to get right for 2023. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm not out on the Rams this year. Except maybe obviously they're going to regress on defense in their secondary, but I'm not totally out on them. I don't think that it's over for them. I don't think their window is closed or anything like that. I think that was as much as you can call it, a purposeful break from the action after having won the Super Bowl. You know, let's not forget they got to the Super Bowl and lost it too. So they've been competitive now for a couple years. It's time for them to have taken a break, and they did. You know, so on top of that, while all that was going on, Jalen Ramsey still put up above average numbers for his position. Sure, they're not Jalen Ramsey numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, that's the team aspect. Everybody is improved by a better team. You know what I mean? Rising waters float all ships. You know what I mean? But if you look at his individual performance, you know, based on the idea from the perspective of the whole entire team taking the year off, I think he's on the level of primetime. I think he's the type of guy, just like Neon, that could go to another team and play for them as if he's always been their superstar. He did it with, you know, he made his name in Atlanta. I think a lot of people forget Deion Sanders played for Atlanta for a lot of years before he went to his next team, and then proceeded to ball out there too. Then he went to a third team, a division rival, and balled out again to end his career. You know, I mean, the guy, I think Jalen Ramsey is on that level. I could be wrong, but I really just have that feeling.
Yeah, I definitely think he's one of the top tier talents when it comes to being the corner position, if not the best corner.
I mean, look, Ali, you could attribute it to Leonard Fournette too, but you got a guy in Jalen Ramsey who has every team he's been with has been to their conference championship game. He went to Jacksonville went to the AFC championship game with Blake Bortles at quarterback.
I forgot about that.
You know, then he gets traded to the Rams, who proceed to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it seems like, just like, you don't want to say it's all about him, just like Fangio, but dang, seems like championships like to follow this guy.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like it follows him. So I definitely agree.
I mean, I'd rather have the guy. You could say color, that means nothing. That's all subjective. That means absolutely nothing, right? And you're right. It does mean nothing. But I would rather have the guy who is followed by championships than the guy that's not.
Yeah, definitely. I would rather I'd rather have the guy that's proven than non-proven. So I agree.
Well, I mean, this is why we were all comfortable with Boyer going into last season. Hey, the guy's a Super Bowl champion with another team. You know what I mean? Like, he should be able to get it. He should be able to pick up the pieces, and, you know, losing Brian Flores and all that. And it just didn't work that way. But the thought was there. You know, now you got a guy who is literally, you know, every single team he's with has, you know, either won or been involved with a championship.
Yep, I agree. Color, we got 15 minutes left. I do have to call it quits at 8 o'clock, just so you know.
No problem. I could talk about Jalen Ramsey all day long, man.
It's all good. I
can't stand him. He's a Seminole, but, you know, he is a great player, man. Can't argue that.
Yeah, Keller will definitely give credit where credit's due, and he's definitely a great player, just for the wrong team. So anyway, let's leave the last 15 minutes for our audience.
Well, we got it. We got them in the right city now. You know, they're.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you get it fixed before the end of your life, you're all right. We got them in the right city now.
Yeah, definitely the right city. Let's leave it up to the audience to ask questions. We'll leave the last 15 minutes as a Q&A as we usually do. Go ahead and put questions.
Yeah,
that
we
you
were
want
planning.
answered.
We were planning for an hour of Q&A. We still filled it up somehow, man.
Defensive, man. I knew that article about the defenses that I was reading was going to create question marks. And it is very impressive that the entire AFC East is in the top 10 of defense, bro. That just shows you how good this division is.
Points are going to be at a premium in our division this year.
Yeah, definitely. So, please put in questions that you have that we can talk about. Anything you guys want to talk about, go ahead and put it in the chat. We got 15 minutes left. And if I didn't shout out to your guys' name before, welcome to the show. I see New Finland is in here. Scotty, I saw Green Rat. Joe Rist is here. Delusional Patriots fan. NFL is lit. The resident Chargers fan. So what's up? S. Harris is here. Kenna Rakin, I'm sorry. Chris Smith. Yeah, shout out to all you guys. DDG. Shake Money. I didn't even see you, bro. What's up, man? Chef Drew's here. What's up, Chef Drew?
Man, a little morning shift.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely,
I bet he cooks some fire eggs, man. Probably perfect.
Scotty says the AFC East will be what the AFC West was supposed to be last season. Agreed 100%. Good morning, Frost. That is How's it going?
This is why I never buy the old, the thing they say every year. Oh, it's going to take 11 wins to make the playoffs. That's such nonsense every single year. It's the NFL.
Hey, guys, we got 36 people watching. Hit the like button for me, please. Let's get the likes up. I see, I only got 12 people, 14 people hit the like button. I need more people to hit the like button, bro. Come on.
It means at least half of you haven't hit the like button. Half of y'all. Really?
You want to help out the channel and don't want to spend any money, hit the like button. It's the freest thing you can do here. I appreciate it. Come on, I'm waiting for Mark K to bring up a question. He always has a question for us to talk about.
Oh, he did earlier.
What do you have?
Don't forget. Don't neglect to mention Micah Hyde.
Micah Hyde?
Yeah, is that who I'm thinking of? When you were talking about Buffalo's defense earlier.
Oh, I know he mentioned their secondary. Look, I understand that. Elam is your bona fide number 2 on paper, but the guy does have to produce to a point to prove that he can be a sustainable number 2.
Okay, Ali, but the real question is, has your owner died yet? Because if he hasn't, then it doesn't matter what you do.
Wow, damn, dude. I don't even know how to respond to that, Mike.
I mean, you gotta respond with intelligent, real football knowledge, man. Like your owner has to die in order for you to win.
Okay, well, I will definitely contact the Social Security Department to get myself a death certificate for my owner, and then I can intelligently that would be my diploma that I can talk intelligently about it.
That's Mark's idea of intelligent football talk, bro. He goes around here spamming everybody's chat about nobody talking intelligent football. That's the kind of takes he brings to the table. Just so
Mark K, I understand we're making fun of him a little bit right now, and I apologize. Mark. Well, actually, I'm not really apologize. It's all good and fun and banter, and you know that. But Mark K just brought up a good subject that we can talk about that I almost forgot to bring up. I read this earlier. He wants to know, is there an update on the Connor Williams situation? There is an update, actually. And let me see if I can find it real quick where I saw it, because it was some
The
good
update
news.
is there is no update.
Oh, there is actually an update. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll tell you what it is. I saw it being posted by somebody on Twitter that it's a trusted, I trust where it's coming from. According to, I believe his agent is Drew Rosenhaus. I believe so. And from my understanding, Connor Williams will not be holding out of training camp. He will be at training camp as scheduled and participate. So that is good news. That means that him, Miami knows where he stands. They know what they have to do. And he is good and, showing good faith by coming to training camp. What do you think about that, Color?
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. So that is
we got
definitely
somebody
good
to
news.
snap the ball.
Come on, Connor Williams
we're all talking about Super Bowl window, and it's like, who's gonna snap the ball?
But Color, to be 100% honest, your center is a foundational piece to your offensive line. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't start the game without the center.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he's not holding out. The guy definitely, in my opinion, is one of the best centers in the league. I think, at least what he played last season. I think he's a top 10 talent, in my opinion. I don't want to say he's top 5, but he's definitely top 10. And I definitely think he's worth a long-term deal. What that deal will be, that's a good question. But I'm glad at least, he's doing the right thing. He knows that we have a window. He wants to get paid. And I think that him doing the right thing, coming to coming to train camp, I think he's doing kind of like the Xavier Howard type of thing. He did have some issues with it earlier, but then he knew that Miami would make it right, and they eventually did. I think that's something kind of like what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like deciding that, hey, there's I got a good shot to win this NASCAR event.
Mm-hmm.
I might want to pay. I might want to make sure that my keys are okay with starting the car.
Yeah, yeah. El Capitan says, Ali, some would say he's your centerpiece. I agree with that. He is definitely the centerpiece to the table. If you think about it, you got Teron Armstead on one side. You got Chris, what's his name? Wynn, as your other, you could say Teron Armstead and Wynn are your leg posts, along with Rob Hunt. The biggest question mark you're really going to have is who the fourth leg post is going to be. And then you got Connor Williams as your centerpiece.
Wait,
I'm
not sure Ali got it, bro.
What do you mean?
He's your centerpiece.
I did get it. I made a table joke. I think you didn't get where I was going with that.
I don't know. That seems like a pretty technical analysis, man.
No. You think about it. It's the perfect table. You have 4 strong posts, and then you have a nice centerpiece to make it pretty. That's Connor Williams.
But see, that's why I thought you didn't get it, because you're analogizing to a table, and I'm just like putting the joke together like he's a center. So he would be a centerpiece.
Yes, but you didn't understand. That's what a centerpiece does. Your centerpiece of your table brings the table together. So that's
I got you.
I was extending the joke.
Otherwise, we'd call him a mantle, and he'd be a mantelpiece.
Yeah, this is dad joke morning. Mondays with Ali. I do it all day long with my daughter.
El Capitan started it with the corny joke, man. I mean, that's what happens when you stick out corny jokes, man. They all get roasted.
Scotty, I agree. I do think it's going to be Armstead, Wynn, Connor, Hunt, and maybe Austin Jackson. That is correct. The only reason I put question mark at Austin Jackson's position at right tackle is because We know what we want. We know what the ceiling can be at times. We just need to see it in play. Once we see them play, then we know for sure.
So what do you call a whole offensive line full of bad players?
What do you call it?
The Jackson 5.
I can't agree with that, bro. I'm sorry. I cannot agree with that because
you could call it a Betty Davis line, but that's not as funny as Jackson 5.
I'll call it a Benny Hill line, to be honest, if you know who Benny Hill is.
We got Jesse Davis line.
Oh my God.
And then we got Jackson with ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. A little blue.
Oh my
42.
God. I agree with this comment. I agree with this. Joe Riz says Eichenberg is the table leg that you have to fold a piece of paper to put under to level it out. I agree with that 100%.
Oh, man.
Oh,
and Austin
man.
Jackson would be the table leg that keeps spinning. You know?
The biggest question mark is, and I know we're extending that dad joke even more, Color. Who is going to be the extended leaf of the table? And if you don't know what that is, for some people, there's ways that you can make your table longer. Some tables have this built in where you can pull it out and add another piece to make the table longer.
I'll tell you who the leaf's
what
gonna be.
Tight end is going to do that for this
Durham
team?
Smythe. I was just going to say it. Durham Smythe is the table leaf.
Lewis just woke up. He's like, oh my God. Oh God, that's so funny.
Table leaf because he's fluttering in the wind, you know. He's just out there standing around, not running any routes, and, you know, ball happens to hit him in the chest and it sticks to his chest because he's got a bunch of Velcro on his jersey, you know. I'm just trying to figure out, you know.
So El Capitan's trying to bring another joke to the table here.
You don't get a second chance around here, bro. Sorry.
Color, some would say he's the mantelpiece too. Eichenberg would be the mantelpiece. He would be that piece on a stairwell at the very top that it always shakes or it's broken. That post piece, you know what I'm talking about?
Right, right.
You know, even every movie you've seen it where the guy's walking up the stairs and the very top post and you go to put your hand on it and it's like very loose or it's broken. You even had guys like Chevy Chase bring a chainsaw and cut it off. That's
right. The newel post, right. Fix the newel post.
Yeah.
So the question is, who is the Christmas stockings?
Oh, Christmas stockings.
That'd be the gift that keeps on giving.
I would say that would be Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Right?
Yeah, because they're going to constantly give. So, give yak yards, give touchdowns, give receptions. Now, speaking of Jalen Waddle, I've seen his workout videos. The guy looks like he's really about business. He heard what Color said about him, about his catching ability, and said, fuck you, Color, I'm going to prove you wrong. Excuse my language. This is morning show. I apologize. Shouldn't have said that.
That's all right. That's probably what Waddle said.
El Cap extended that joke, man. Extended that joke. Goddamn. So El Cap says 100% Ali. It's got gold glue on it. 3 different colors from being fixed a bunch of times. 100%. And you know what? Technically, you're not wrong. Eichenberg would be because this is his 3rd defensive coordinator he's going to have to play under.
You mean OC, right?
Or offensive coordinator. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
Yeah.
Hilarity.
Yeah. Well, Color, it's 8 o'clock. If you haven't already, please hit the like button for me. Share. Tell your friends. We really appreciate everybody coming out. You know, like I said, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. We have 33 people watching. You know, I know I haven't been on for 2 weeks. We had the crud. My whole family, my extended family now has the crud. So it's getting crazy. And I'm just glad to be back. And I appreciate everybody coming to hang out with us. It was fun. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. sharp, every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And don't forget, this Saturday, 10 o'clock, we'll make it 10 o'clock, is Late Night Exhale. That's right, gentlemen and ladies. Late Night Exhale is back. I have something I'm going to play for you guys. Very special I put together. TFTG put it together. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on notification bell. Check out the links below. We appreciate you all. And with that color, I'm going to say is fins up.
Yeah.